we're getting started, what we're going to do for our first pose, just laying back, is bring your feet together and then just take a block under each thigh. So that as we're laying back, the thighs just get to be open, nice and comfortable. And the intention that we'll be focusing on today is largely about flow as opposed to stagnation. So stagnation is extremely unhealthy for the body. When, even in Chinese medicine, when they talk about health versus disease, they oftentimes talk about how disease happens when some part of the body starts to become stagnant, and then the circulation doesn't happen as well, and then from there it just kind of tumbles down to more and more problems with it. So stagnation leads to disease, according to that, versus flow leads to life, leads to vitality, leads to creativity. And so we're trying to get more in the flow, the movement, getting circulation going, getting things moving. And that'll be kind of our big intention today. And that includes the breath, getting the prana in our body, the life force, so that it can also move around all through our circulation, help us to process old energies, all those goodies. So to get us started with this idea of flow today, let's start off with a 3-part yogic breath. So with part 1, and literally once we get into it, I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and then back down. So 1 is when we inhale, the belly starts to rise out. With 2, our side ribs begin to expand outward. And with 3, the chest and the collarbone start to rise. So it's in that order. So 1 would be belly, 2, side ribs out, 3, collarbones rise. And then with the exhale, it's exact reverse. So exhale first, the collarbones and chest. Another inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Let's do one more round. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, 3, 2, 1. Beautiful. So from here, as we start to lift the knees up, the feet are planted. Scoot the blocks a little bit off to each side. They're still accessible. And we'll take 3 bridge poses, just normal right here. So inhale, the hips roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. When you get to that highest spot, use the exhale to roll back down 1 vertebrae at a time, hips down last. 2 more normal rounds like that. Inhale up. Exhale down. 1 more. Inhale. Exhale. Good. We're going to start playing with this. So grab one of your blocks. Put the block at the smallest height under the feet. It might take just a little bit of adjusting to get them just in the right spot, the perfect distance, not too far, not too close. Whenever you feel like your block is in that good spot, we're going to take 3 lifts from that bridge pose. So inhale, rolling up. Exhale down. Coming up 2. Good. And either stay at that height or try to bump up the block height one more time. This one's the medium height. This one, again, it has to be at just the right spot since there's less surface area to stand on. Get it to that spot that feels like you could press into it. And then take 3. This one gives us the most amount of flow, the most amount of lift. So with an inhale, roll all the way up, super, super, super high. Exhale all the way down. 2 more like that. Last one. Beautiful. Grab your block. When we lift up the hips again, slide the block right under the hips. You choose the height. Some might be small, medium, or there might be 1 or 2 of us that go all the way up to the tall height. Not super important. If that's uncomfortable, bump it down. But once you're about as high as the hips can go with the block, start to slide the right heel long. We feel that stretch across the front of the right hip. Just give it 2 or 3 good breaths. Getting some flow to happen in this area. And then plant the right foot in. Left leg slides out long. Give it that 2 or 3 breaths. That initial moment is when that stretch is the deepest. And slide the foot in. Either stay right here, bridge pose, if you love this amount of chest opener, or take just a couple of breaths to slide both legs out long. So leave us in a huge arched position. Perhaps take a breath or 2 to fill that 3-part yoga breath, even here. Feeling how we can breathe into the belly, side ribs, a little bit into the chest, and then reverse it. So 1 more good cycle. Beautiful. Sliding the feet back in. Lift up the hips. Slide the block away, push it off to the side. And sliding the legs long, we take just a breath or 2 with a banana pose. So cross right ankle over left. Scoot the legs off to the left. And then grab right wrist above head, scoot the shoulders to the left. So it's like a banana shape to the left. Just 1 more breath to be here. Movement, flow. Release. Take left ankle over, scoot to the right. Grab left wrist, scoot it to the right. One more good inhale. Exhale. Release. Spine back through the center. Plant both feet close to the glutes. Take just 1 bridge pose, rolling up. And out. Right leg goes up to the sky. Grab onto it. Just 2 or 3 breaths to help that hamstring have a first stretch. Take this right ankle up to the left thigh, the figure 4 stretch. Spread the arms all the way around that left side, lifting for each. Just a few easy breaths for that hip to open. Our hands release. The left foot is back to the ground. The ankle is still up. We'll tilt both knees partway over to the right. You choose how far to go. We don't want the left knee in any sort of pain. So if you feel that, back it a bit higher. But the idea is taking that left leg into internal rotation, so that way we can feel the stretch to the outer hip, outer thigh area. Good. Lifting the knees back up right there in that center spot. Take the left hand behind the back of the head. We're going to crunch that left elbow up to that right knee. Reaching up 10 and down. Exhale, 9. Inhale. 8. 7. 6. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1. Good. Right leg just takes a brief stretch up to sky. Just pull it in for one inhale. And exhale, plant that right foot. Left leg goes up to sky. That 2 or 3 good breaths. Left ankle to right thigh. Do the hug first, pulling it in. If you feel yourself start to get into the stretch, sometimes that's an invitation to go a little bit deeper. Or if it's already intense, don't feel like you have to at all. Nice inhale. Exhale. The right foot's back onto the ground. The legs tilt over to the left so that the right leg can go to that internal rotation. So however deep feels good. When this unit comes back up through the center, take the right hand behind the head. We're crunching that right elbow to that left knee. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. As head relaxes down, left leg gets the brief stretch up, just a good inhale. Exhale, the straight leg lowers down toward the ground. Once the heel's down to the ground, slide the leg longer as we try to pull this right knee into the chest. Feel both legs trying to pull in opposition. Good. Take this right knee across the body into a twist. Starting to get a little bit more into the spine. And as the hip eases back down, brief straight leg stretch, right leg up to sky. And when it drops down to the ground, keep that heel trying to slide away as we take this left knee in. Legs in opposition. Start to take this knee across the body, a twist. Good. One more inhale. Exhale when we start to ease the hip back to the floor. Let that left leg have one last little stretch up to sky. And both legs come in, happy baby, grabbing the feet. Easy movement, rocking. Or stillness if you prefer. We release, we'll work our way up to sit. If you like to roll like a ball, thank you for your core. Otherwise, we'll eventually come up to cobblers. Good. The bottoms of feet together. Perhaps for the first segment, we just start to relax the spine forward. Feeling the hips opening up to a full new spot. Spine rises up. Take the fingertips behind us so that the heart can be drawn forward and through. Grab onto the right knee, flip it over to the left, and just continue to spiral the spine that way. We return back to cobbler. Fingers are behind. Arch that heart forward and through. Lift the left knee over. Easy spinal twist. Spiral back open. One more time, fingers behind, heart arching. Another breath or two, just releasing forward. From here, as the spine raises up, slide the left leg out long in front of you, right foot is planted. For this first one, go ahead and switch so that way we have the right foot planted. There we go, now you're okay, that way we're all on the same side. So take the right elbow to the inside of the knee first, and then pushing the elbow into the knee creates a nice spinal twist. Good. Returning forward, right hand reaches up to sky for a moment. Start to lean forward. We're trying to get the shoulder past the shin if possible. From here, either just start to wrap the arm around, or if you can create a full bind, take the left hand behind your back, both fingers joining together. We've got a bind here. Just enjoy a couple of breaths. The shoulders start to open. Fingers release. Counter twist. So left hand or left elbow hooks around the knee, spiral toward the thigh this time. Forward, let the right thigh drop down to the floor. Inhale, scroll onto the sky. Exhale, release forward. We'll switch the legs out. Right leg goes out long, left foot slides in. First things first, the left elbow's on the inside. Push into the thigh to create the twist. Turning forward, reach left hand to sky. As you lean forward, just see how far forward that shoulder can get. Kind of wind around and either just stay in the forward fold or maybe both hands come around behind to the body. Wind. Take the counter twist, right hand or right elbow hooking, spiral the opposite way. And dropping that thigh open, circle arms up to sky. Exhale, forward fold. So as we rise up, let this right leg cross in front of the left leg, just keeping cross shape. Place both blocks off to each side. We'll start off with a low height. What we're going to do 3 times is just push into the block, see if we can get the hips to lift. And then when we come back down, we'll give our wrists a little break each time, so that way it's not too much compression for the wrists. So just nice and easy for this first round. Push down, feel the hips lift. And when we lower, just feel the wrist release. Good. Just 2 more like that. Okay, and then just to feel the difference of height, if you'd like to try to bump up to the medium height, you're welcome to go for that. Again, 3, obviously, if there's any wrist issues, you can do fists instead, or even fists to the ground would work as well. So, pushing up just 3. Two. 1. Beautiful. Keep the blocks here up at the top. Swing the right leg all the way around behind us. Get the hips up in the center. We're dropping right down into pigeon pose. If you need to roll the wrist out a little bit, that's perfectly fine. That compression we get in the wrists, it's pretty intense because we don't always put weight into our wrists, but that compression actually makes the bones stronger over time. So obviously not overdoing it, but just a couple of easy rounds. From here, let's start to bring the hands onto the floor. We're taking our spine into more of a back bend. Either stay just arching or try to take right hand for right foot behind, your personal preference. One more inhale. And then with our exhale, plant the hands, tuck the back toes. We're gonna try to lift up to 3-legged dog. So our hips go up and then that left leg stretches all the way up to the sky. Beautiful. So you can either stay in this 3-legged dog, or you could try a flow, that left leg floating if possible. You can always drop to knees if you need to. Any variations are fine. Cobra, down dog, we're all in normal down dog. One more breath right here. And then start to float the left leg back up high. Step left foot in between hands. The right hand stays down. You can always bump a block over if you need it. The left thumb comes to that left hip for a moment just to help rotate the thigh muscles open. From that openness of the hips, the shoulders are able to stack a bit more easily. Maybe our left hand floats up to the sky. Good. So as the hand comes down, we're going to start working that front leg as straight as possible. If you need to shorten the stance or take the blocks over to have more height, that's great. Just work that front leg as straight as it's willing to go right now. Transition to standing split from here. So blocks or not, hands them forward. Float the right leg up high. Let both feet drop down, forward fold here up at the top. Our next inhale, we rise all the way up. A little arch. Into the heart. We'll bring the hands to the back sides of the hips, helping to push the hips forward. So that whole heart area arching really open. Rising back up. Step the feet about as wide as the mat, toes turning out. We're going to go into Malasana. If you need to sit on a block, that's a great option. With the Malasana squat, they come all the way down, elbows push into the knees, helping the hips to open. Yep, sitting on block is perfectly fine. Any height. Good. One more good inhale. Exhale. Our goal is to softly lower back down to sit. One hand in front, one hand behind. Gently lower hips to the ground. Good. Round two for our wrists. This one, let's start off with another variation. You choose the height, even bumping to tall if you want at any point. With this new variation we're going to try out, once we've got our arms locked straight, what we're going to do is some shoulder shrugs. So the shoulders come up to the ears, and then we can push back down. So we'll go for about 5 of those. Okay? Press up, and then shoulders down and up. 4, 3, 2, 1. Roll the wrists out. We'll go through 3 practice lifts. So maybe this time you want to try to lift your feet too. Maybe you're still practicing what you're doing before, or like I mentioned, if you ever need to go back to fists on the blocks or on the floor just to help the wrist out, that's great too. So 3 of whatever we've got. Using a nice exhale to lift. And releasing the rest. 2. And 1. Good. So left leg swings all the way behind this time. Bring the hips right into that pigeon shape. Starting to plant the hands, feel the heart arch up. Stay here, or maybe left hand to left foot. More inhale. Good. Exhale. So we plant the hands, perhaps three-legged dog, trying to get that right leg to reach up super high. Maybe stay here, maybe try to go for a flow with that right leg floating. Normal down dog for just a moment. Right foot up to the sky. Step it in between hands. Right thumb helps to rotate the thigh open, shoulders stack. Maybe right arm up to sky. Beautiful. As the hand comes down, use blocks or not. We're trying to get the front leg as straight as it can go right now. Hands go forward, standing split, left leg's floating. Dropping the foot down, forward fold. Inhale to rise. Lift the heart. Right hand to right thigh, left hand up and over. And switch. Up, hands behind the hips, take that back bend. Rising up. Hands to the thighs, set the hips back. Almost like a cat-cow when we curl the spine in, take an inhale. When we exhale, bring the heart forward and through. We'll stick out the tongue and do the lion's breath. Like that. We'll do 5 of those. Inhale. Good. Shake the legs for a moment. Step the feet as wide as mat, toes turning out. Malasana, using block if you wish. I'll add some variations with this one. You don't have to take the variations. You could just stay. So if we're doing it, we're taking a twist. So the right shoulder slides closer to the right knee. Right fingers to floor, left hand to sky. Or taking the bind, winding around the legs. Good. Come back to the center, take a breath. Left shoulder slides down, left fingers to floor, right to sky, or the bind. Open back up, back through the center. Here, stay 2 or 3 more breaths, or you're welcome to do a crow pose for a moment. Knees up to triceps, maybe one or both sets of toes lift for a moment. It's basically playing it until you feel like it's time to come down. Sooner or later, after a breath or two, when you're ready to come down, just roll your hips all the way to the floor. Good. Beautiful. And another set with the blocks. So this one, you choose. Maybe you're doing the shoulder shrugs 5 or 6 times. Maybe this time you're trying to stay lifted, even if it's just glutes, just as long as you can, and then relaxing maybe 3 times for that one. So whatever's gonna work for you, just one round of whatever it is. Yeah. Actually, a second round if you're doing this one. Beautiful, and maybe one more round, whatever we got. Good. As we release, right leg goes all the way back around to the back of our mat. This time when we're in pigeon pose, let the right elbow be down, even block is fine. Left hand either comes to the low back, or you can continue to see if you can find those left toes. Find them, just continue to spiral the spine open. Spine in front, we've got a choice, child pose, down dog, maybe 3-legged flow, it's all up to you. We'll eventually end up stepping that right foot forward. So let's swing it up high. Right foot in between hands, or sorry, left. If I said right, I meant left. Let's go to left foot. And I'll give you so I don't confuse myself later. Good, so left foot forward. Back heel down. Warrior 1, float the arms up. And then we'll go into a nice wrist stretch. So see if you can clasp the hands from behind and then push out so that the wrists are getting in that little stretch. Maybe bowing forward as well. Dropping hands down, roll the spine up. Warrior 1. Opening up to warrior 2. Keep that front knee rotating open toward pinky toe. Extended side angle. Maybe the front elbow goes to front thigh, or maybe those left fingers go to floor. This top arm stretches forward toward mirror. Rising up, warrior 2. Reverse it out, back fingers to back leg, top arm up and back. And up. Straighten the front leg. Triangle, reach the left hand forward, that tilts the hips. And then left hand to left shin, right hand up to sky. Feel the space of the back just open and flat. Rising back up, warrior 2, front knee bends. Either drop the elbow back down, extended side angle, or if the fingers can go to the floor, maybe this time you try the bind. Finding the left elbow under the thigh, right hand back, just like that. Top shoulder tries to stay rotating open. So those that don't have the full bind, don't worry, I'll give you a variation in just a moment. Those that do have the bind, if you want to play with Bird of Paradise, You could hop your right foot forward and then rise up, floating that left leg. So that is an option if you're there. If you're not, let's rise back up, warrior two. And what we're gonna do is come into eagle's pose. So this left leg wraps around the right. Other way, right leg around the left, facing to the top of the mat, right elbow under. Good. Good. Everybody release. Let's cross this right leg in front of the left. Pinky toes are close. This easy roll of the spine down. Rolling spine back up. Big toes together. If knees are an issue, fierce pose is your variation. Otherwise, we're gonna try to go to toe swap. So, coming all the way down. If fingers need to be on the floor, that's fine. You can get fewer and fewer fingers down or hands to the heart. Squeeze in our thighs together, try to balance. Nice inhale. Exhale, one hand in front, one hand behind. Let's easy lower back down to seated. This is the last round to be right here with the blocks. So maybe 3 more of the reps, doing the very best that we can. Maybe try to hold each one more breath longer than you did last set. So just do the best that you can, obviously. If your wrists need that adjustment, the variations, that's great. The best that you can. Here's 3. Eventually to 2. And 1. Beautiful. So leaving the right leg in front, left leg goes back. Left elbow is on the floor. Right hand either just winds around the low back or tries to find those right toes. Both hands to plant in front of us. Your option entirely. Child pose, down dog, three-legged flow, whatever you like. Now off to the right leg, floating. Stepping in between hands. Back heel down. Warrior 1. Unclasp behind. Take that wrist stretch if you can. Bow forward. Release, rise up. Warrior 1. Warrior 2. Extended side angle. Warrior 2. Reverse. Warrior 2. Straighten front leg. Triangle. Warrior 2, front knees bent. Extended side angle, the best that you can. There is that optional bind if you wanted to try to go for it. Further down that shoulder can get, the easier, more likely the bind is. Whether you've got the bind or not, try to stack the shoulders back up tall. So if you've got the bind and you want to try bird of paradise, go for it. If not, unwind. Eagle over the front leg, so left wraps around, left elbow under. Release the arms, keep the foot crossed, roll the spine down. Spine rolls back up. Last toe squat or fierce pose. Doing a toe squat, try to come all the way down. If the balance is here, you could try a variation. You don't have to. This would be right hand coming to the left thigh, and then right hand aiming down toward the ground. If it finds the floor, left hand goes to the sky, or you can play with side crow. Try to engage your balance as we work our way back through the center. Left hand hooks, floor, right arm sides. Good. Back to center, lower hips down to the floor. So as we're in an easy seated place, take your hands clasped in front of you, flip the palms away, and just let yourself be in this little wrist stretch for a little while. The arms up and back as far as they can go. And then as you drop the chin to the chest, take these clasped hands behind the back of the head, weighing the head down. Hands release, head rolls back up. Let your fingers droop down, and then we'll take those hands into the waist or into the side ribs. The wrist could be forward or up, it's whatever is more comfortable and brings you into a gentle wrist stretch. You release, take a few wrist circles, nice and easy. And then hands plant behind us. Sometimes just rocking the hands more flat is plenty of wrist stretch. If you need more, you can walk your hands any amount backwards until your wrists are in the perfect amount of stretch for your body. As you walk back in, circle the wrists out. Take the legs out straight in front of us. Nice inhale, circle up to sky. Exhale, forward fold. From here on, it will be our personal journey towards Shavasana. So there might be some additional seated stretches you want to take. There might be some stretches returning onto our back, doing some things that we did at the beginning. This is really anything that your body wants to feel complete, even shoulder stand, plow pose, just anything that feels amazing for your body. This can be just a quick couple of breaths, or it could be a couple of minutes. It's up to you to know all this, what it takes for your body to find that comfortable, relaxed place of peace. Only when you get there, perhaps take in the class like we began, returning to a few of those 3-part yoga breaths. Begin 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. Here we begin to deepen our inhales, our exhales. Introduce little movements back to fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching out like we're waking up first thing in the morning. Eventually taking it to a nice fetal position on one side. Enjoy maybe 2 or 3 more good deep breaths. We're coming back to our body, back to presence. This comfortable seated place, our hands are together in front of our heart. We recall, we return back to our idea of flow, of getting our body to move, getting circulation to go, our nervous system to feel new sensations, even getting our thoughts to travel to new places, trying new things, getting new adventures. And in this flow, there's creativity and health. And so with this idea of flow leading us on as opposed to stagnation, let's wrap up the time that we got to share together today with the sound of Om. Deep inhale now. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.